I invite all of us to be keenly aware of this moment. The way your feet feel on the ground, the breeze on our faces, the warmth of the sun on our skin, these gorgeous mountains, the river, clouds, ripe with anticipation. Take a deep breath and let us begin. Okay. Our life together has been a revelation for me. I didn't know that it was possible to feel such steady joy and deep contentment with another person. I've struggled to write these vows in part because it's difficult for me to understand the great fortune that brought us together. I promise to always remember how lucky I am to be your husband. I promise to always protect you and our family, just like the time I fought that moose on Rock Creek. I promise to always be patient with you, like you are endlessly patient with me. I promise to trust you and to follow your lead when you have a good plan, like when that moose chased us in Wyoming. I promise to always support the amazing work that you do, even if it means hearing about really gross things when you come home. I promise to always readily forgive you, like I did after you pushed me down when that moose charged us in the pintlers so that you could get away. Mostly, though, I promise to always be right here, forever. Oh, yours are longer. Okay.
Those are all different moves, by the way. Mike. Hi.
Hi.
I've been trying to decide how, in this moment, I could capture everything that you are to me. And disclaimer, I cannot. But in agonizing over this, I looked back over several journal entries that spanned our past years together. They slowly evolved from, and I quote, "I have a crush in the form of a brewer from Peaburg," to doubt that we'd make it through the distance and demanding schedules ahead of us, to in all caps, "We're engaged." In all these embarrassing entries, I found a recurring theme of joy and awe at the depths of happiness. Silence, sit. At the depths of happiness we'd found and created together. Naturally, because I'm me, they also contained anxiety that there would be an end to that period of bliss. But then the end never came. You walked with me and often carried me through the medical education journey. You got me on adventures filled with mishap and laughter, and you greeted me at the end of every day with the exact thing I needed, whether it was goofiness, cuddles, or dinner. So now I find I'm no longer afraid it will end. For the first time, I'm not nervous about what the future holds. For together, we can face anything. So all I can say today, on our wedding day, is thank you. I love you so much.
You too.
And I promise you, I can't say the word, to devote myself to being your source of warmth as you have been mine through so many of life's ups and downs. To remember to be present with you, to cherish the many moments of unbridled emotion before us. To continue to be open to new adventures, including a fish show.
Oh.
To encourage and support you in all of your pursuits and growth. And most importantly, to give my whole self to our marriage and our family.
I love you. it is my distinct pleasure to pronounce you husband and wife, and to introduce for the first time as a married couple, Kara and Mike Francis Elliott.
So I've always said to Mike that he is my favorite son. He'd always roll his eyes and say, well, Mom, I'm your only son. And yeah, that's true, but you know, the feeling's still there. But now I can say to Kara, you're my favorite daughter-in-law. I love you so much. So I'm so pleased to be here with all of you, celebrating the next chapter for Mike and Kara.
I'd really like to thank everybody. I know that there's several in this audience who have come from the East Coast, from the West Coast, somewhere in the hinterland. And it is really quite remarkable that we are gathered in this stunningly beautiful valley, celebrating the marriage of one of the finest men I know.
Every day, I try to teach Abby and Henry about the magic in this world. We talk about fairies in the same breath that we talk about foxes, those elusive creatures that only the lucky get to see. And I like to believe that my views on fairies began while sharing a sacred space with Mike. Laying on blankets in the field, hiding under a blue umbrella in the tall weeds, grasses, and alfalfa. Maybe it began by looking at the stars in endless summer nights, sleeping outside in an orange tent, filled with all the pillows, sleeping bags, and stuffed animals we could possibly fit in there. And later, just under the stars themselves.
Kara's pretty private, and her voice was different from anything I had ever heard. She proceeded to lament on the fact that she was off to Seattle in a week for her third year in medical school. I said, well, have fun. That can't hurt. And she thought it was crazy. Not for the first or last time. Mike had invited her to stop at the brewery. She said, no way, I'm not going to go over there. Then she proceeded to drop in with her friend the following night, and you guys heard about that today. I understand Mike was hiding in the back, which we heard about again. And he said, that's the woman. She's here. His friend encouraged him to go say hi, and he did. That's at least the version I know. Is that true? Is that Mac? I don't have the details of the next 7 days, so I will skip to the move to Seattle. Did you text him? I asked. No, I'm not going to do that. He needs to. It's his turn.
Now, not only is he adept with the fly rod and a raft, but more importantly, we found him to be a very incredibly intelligent, caring, and compassionate human. And I must say, for me, it has been a joy to meet another man who is prone to tearing up even more than me.
Yes, we've watched Kara learn to fly fish, and we've watched Mike learn to skate ski. We've watched 3 dogs have the best parents possible. Kara and Mike simply are lovely together. Whether cleaning up dog vomit, dodging moose, apparently 3, celebrating my departure when I left my last job, these guys did a lovely job at recognizing that, or making a meal, they're always there for one another, smiling, propping each other up, toasting, roasting, playing, and planning. We are absolutely thrilled and looking forward to celebrating the next many steps.
So here's the thing, Kara and Mike are 2 of the most incredible people I have ever met, in Mike's case, or had the pleasure of growing up with, in Kara's case. And that's not all they have in common. They love being in the outdoors, going on adventures. They're both whip smart. They slip in these like little bits of dry humor, when you're not really expecting it. Super, super clever. They burn through New York Times crosswords together. Very, very impressive. They both have catastrophically poor judgment when it comes to how many dogs is an appropriate number of dogs to have. And finally, they are both so approachable. They are so caring, so thoughtful, so compassionate, and such amazing listeners. And they have this habit as a result of accumulating friends and acquaintances who just spill their hearts out to these two. People share their most intimate secrets, all of their insecurities. And Kara and Mike are pretty good at, not divulging nearly as much about themselves as they're listening to.
Mike, Kara, it has been amazing to watch you guys grow together as a power couple, as two of the most kind and beautiful people that I've ever met in my life. I love you guys completely and utterly, and I just wish you absolutely nothing but the best. L'chaim.